What has two thumbs and prefers a physical QWERTY keyboard? This guy. I love using my iPad. Oftentimes it's my primary computer for when I'm typing out emails, writing posts, or whatever it might be. But I write things at length, and the on-screen keyboard of the iPad sometimes can throw me for a loop. So with that in mind, folks at Negri Electronics hooked us up with an iPad case with Bluetooth keyboard attached to it. Let's go ahead and get to the unboxing. So if you carry your iPad in a case, this is going to be just a little bit of extra added bulk for you. It's going to set you back just about $70, but when you consider what the cost of an average case for the iPad is, you're probably paying about $40 premium for the Bluetooth keyboard attachment. Now certainly you don't have to have it integrated into a case. You can use any Bluetooth keyboard to set up and type with your iPad. This one though, you don't have to carry anything extra. It's supposedly all in there. Let's go ahead and open it up. iPad case with keyboard. You can see me in the reflection in my cowboy shirt. Hello. Alright, so let's go ahead and open this up. It's a little bit on the heavy side actually. Hopefully the case isn't going to weigh that much. So it looks like we've got some sort of plastic shell in there. Things are always harder to unbox. There we go. Alright, so here is the case, obviously. Try to pull it out. Okay, we've got some instructions. User manual, we'll take a look at that in just a minute, and nothing else. And falling on the floor, we have a cord. Looks like if you want to charge your Bluetooth keyboard, it uses micro USB. I would have thought that maybe it would have had some sort of charging connector built in to use the power if you wanted on the iPad, but alas, there isn't one. So here is the keyboard. It actually looks pretty nice. It's sort of a rubber feel, so think of the old keyboards that you can sort of roll up to it. This doesn't have a hard sort of rigid feel like you would have on a standard keyboard like this. Definitely feels a bit more flexible. There's a piece of cardboard on the bottom of it here to prevent it from bending, but the keys itself definitely have a rubber feel to it, and not the most key throw, at least on first blush. You can sort of see what that looks like right there. You can hear the noise. It definitely has a rubber feel to it. So let's go ahead and connect the iPad and see how this guy works. Alright, so let's take a look at this Mamma Jamma. And yes, I just said Mamma Jamma. I'm trying to bring it back, although probably unsuccessfully. It's got a clasp on top, which is magnetic. Magnets aren't necessarily the first thing you think of when it comes to electronics, but this one seems to be fine, not going to damage anything. Go ahead and lift this up. Actually, before I do that, let me show you the additional bulk that this thing is going to add. You can see where the iPad is in there. There's a decent amount of extra heft and weight that carrying this around is going to give you. However, you are going to get a nice all-in-one option, and your iPad is going to be very substantially protected. Alright, so let's go ahead and open this thing up. The iPad slides in quite nicely on the side. There's a little bit of a flap that lifts up. You go ahead and push the iPad in. And there are openings on either side, so if you like an orientation with your home button on the left or the right, you can pick whichever is best for you. The keyboard pairing is actually relatively easy. There's a power button, sort of off to the right side right there. You go ahead and flick that on. There's a connect button right there. Prompts you for a password when you go into Bluetooth settings on the iPad, and you are good to go. So all in all, it probably took about 10 seconds to pair. So when you want to use this device, go ahead and lift up your iPad. And there's a little bit of a ledge to leave it there to go ahead and type. So I've tried using this for, I don't know, maybe 5 or 10 minutes just to get a sense of how well it worked and whether or not I thought I could get used to it. Certainly I'll follow this up with a full review and perhaps my opinions will change, but this is not the most pleasant typing experience. If you're thinking you're going to get a full keyboard substitute, you are going to be a bit disappointed. If you look at a full-size keyboard like we have right here, you'll notice that the key sizes are quite different. If you don't mind carrying around two separate devices and you want a true desktop typing experience minus the mouse, the Bluetooth keyboard from Apple or whatever other manufacturer you like is probably going to be a better option. However, if you're looking for the all-in-one that gives you a case and a keyboard, you're going to have to make some compromises. And that's really where this device comes into play. It's a rubber feel and short key throws definitely don't make the most pleasant experience, but it's certainly better when it comes to typing long emails or long letters. I know a lot of you guys take your iPad to class, you take it to work, and you type a lot of notes on it. So if that is you, then this is going to be a device you're going to want to look at. Now I know it seems a bit counterintuitive to talk about adding physical buttons to a device whose really main attraction is its lack of buttons, which certainly is a good choice for web browsing, for looking at video and music. But when it comes time to actual text inputting, and if you want to use your iPad as a laptop replacement or a laptop substitute or supplement, you are going to need some sort of way to input text. So that was a long way of saying that if you want an all-in-one and you want a case that's going to offer good protection and you want a keyboard thrown in there for good measure, this is going to be a decent way to go. There are a lot of keys here on the keyboard, most of which you get on a standard Bluetooth keyboard. The most appealing, at least to me, is the 4-way arrows, which makes it a lot easier when you're typing. Instead of having to go ahead and touch the screen to get to where you want, go ahead and just use the arrow keys. You've got a home button, you have function keys for controlling volume and media playback as well, in addition to pause buttons. You've got your typical comma buttons, period buttons, and the rest of the stuff you'd expect from a keyboard. So let me go ahead and give you a quick demonstration, pull this back a little bit so you can see the screen. We'll launch Pages. And I've got a blank document here, and I'll just type out very quickly. This is a test. Now I'm not sure if that noise that the keyboard is making is going to be picked up by the camera, but you don't get that keyboard clackiness that you get from an external dedicated keyboard. You get more of a rubber on rubber type sound. The keyboard is usable. It wouldn't be my first preferred typing method. However, I don't want to carry something else with me. I don't want to throw a keyboard in my backpack, my briefcase, my attaché if I wore a purse. It's just not something that I want to carry. It adds bulk, it adds weight. So I think that this is going to be a nice sort of hybrid middle ground for those people. Anyway guys, I'll give you more coverage in a full review of this guy. Links are down below if you want to check it out or pick one up. I think I'm going to leave this on my iPad for a little while and see if I like it. Anyway guys, I'm Rettinger from TechnoBuffalo, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.